Forecast Weekly, starring Las Vegas handicapper Dennis Tobler, with Mike Fox and Fred Schaller. And here is the host of Football Forecast Weekly, Bob Della Rocca.
Hello, football fans, and welcome to Football Forecast Weekly. Once again, this week, our panel of experts will bring you the insight and information you need to become a first-rate handicapper. Hi, I'm your host, Bob Della Rocca, and joining me once again for week number 15 of the football season is Las Vegas' #1 handicapper, Dennis Tobler. Dennis, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you, Bob. Great to be back. Week 15 already. I can't believe it.
Speaking of weeks, back in week number 10, you mentioned that the Houston Oilers would defeat the Seattle Seahawks and not only make a run for the AFC Central, but the AFC itself, they run off 7 straight.
Well, that's right, Bob. I believe I mentioned to everyone out there that you must know in advance when these teams are ready to make their move. It wouldn't do you any good now to jump on the Oilers. The odds makers are going to make their adjustments. But if you'd have listened to the show 7 weeks ago, was it, or 6 weeks ago, I predicted that the Oilers would win that division, and I'll stick with that prediction.
Speaking about knowing what's going to happen ahead of time, your phone line last week, your 900 line, hit 75%, and that included a week where 6 road teams won straight up and 9 teams covered. And if you had the Broncos at 3.5, that made 10 dogs that covered.
Well, that's right, Bob, and that just goes to show you that hitting 75% against a tough week like last week is that the information coming from my 900 number and here in Las Vegas is what you truly need to beat these numbers. Without it, I don't think it can be done.
Well, how about we get right to this week's action?
Let's go for it.
Your first game, Dennis, is an AFC Western Division battle between the Chiefs and the Broncos. Chiefs come in 9-3, Broncos 7-5. The lines makers here in Las Vegas have made the Broncos a 1-point favorite, and this is certainly a must-win for the Broncos with only 4 weeks remaining.
Well, I think I also predicted Kansas City would not win their division of the AFC, and if that's going to happen, they're going to have to lose this week and 2 more times before the season ends, and I think that will happen. Denver's got a problem this weekend. They're very beat up. Demery and Dennis Smith are out of their defensive backfield, and that's definitely going to hurt the Broncos' chances. However, I am going to take Denver in this matchup. Kansas City has a tough time winning at Denver. Denver's already lost 2 home games this season, and I can't see them losing 3. I think the way the game will set up will be like this. Denver is going to plan on putting a lot of pressure on Joe Montana. I don't think his short passing game is going to work nearly as effectively this week as it did last week. Also, last week, Kansas City was a beneficiary of a lot of turnovers from Seattle that made them look very good. Going on the road for the 2nd week in a row against an AFC West opponent is a very tough thing to do. Somehow, some way, Denver will pull out the win. They may only win it by 3 points, but they'll get the win at home.
Well, I know they've owned Kansas City at Mile High the last 10 years. They're going to make it 11 this week.
Well, I think they will, and when you've got someone like Elway, I think maybe he'll have a little added incentive playing against Montana. And I'll tell you something, when Montana was with the 49ers, they did not enjoy much success playing the Broncos, and I don't think that they'll have much success this week either. I look for Denver to pull out the win.
Okay, your next game is an NFC battle between the Cowboys and the Vikings. Dallas comes in 8-4, a game behind the Giants. Minnesota comes in 6-6. The lines makers here in Las Vegas have made Dallas a 7-point favorite. And Dennis, the Vikings are only 1-5 against the spread at home in the Metrodome. Was that going to continue?
No, I don't think that'll continue. And I'll tell you the biggest key to this Viking team was last week when they put McMahon back in at quarterback. I don't care what all of McMahon's detractors have to say about him. He is one tremendous quarterback. And for all the criticism he takes for not being able to throw the ball down the field, last week he threw a 27-yard pass on 3rd down and a 36-yard pass on 3rd down. Both of them set up the field goals that won the game. Plus, McMahon had no turnovers. What a key factor that is in playing the game. Also in this matchup, look for the Vikings defense to dominate. Dallas was pressured by the Philadelphia Eagle defense on Monday night, and you've seen what happened. Aikman threw what should have been 2 or 3 interceptions. He fumbled the ball on the 5-yard line, and I think Minnesota's defense will put even more pressure on him than the Eagles did. I like the Minnesota Vikings to win this game straight up. That's right, and remember where you heard it. I'm going to go to the money line window on this game and play the Vikings to win the game. So if you really want to be a winner, follow my advice on this one, because Minnesota will get the win against the champions this week.
Great news for Giant fans.
That sure is.
We spoke at the top of the segment about your 900 line being very successful. You hit 75% last week. This week, I know you've got a very big promotion going. Tell everybody about it.
Well, that's right, Bob. I'm coming back with an NFL locked 4-team parlay on my 900 sports line this weekend, and there's only one way you're going to get this easy winner. That's dial 1-900-903-0933, and for $20, you can win big this weekend. Also on the hotline this weekend, I'm going to introduce everyone to my tremendous basketball selections. each year. Basketball is my top sport when it comes to picking winners here in Las Vegas, and I'm going to release 10 college hoop winners on the hotline for only one call this weekend. Don't forget to take advantage of all this information. It comes direct from Las Vegas. 1-900-903-0933. Give me a call and I'll do the job for you.
I know you had a special congratulations for the newest NFL franchises.
Well, yeah, I think it's great that the new Jacksonville and what was the Charlotte got the franchises. However, I think St. Louis and Baltimore may be in the catbird seat because they stand to get the Rams and the Patriots later on.
That's certainly true. All right, stay tuned. We're going to be back with Dennis Tobler and his college information on the bowl picture. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to be back right after these messages.
Hello, football fans. You watch me each week win my selections right here on Football Forecast Weekly, and thousands of you call my 900 number to continue the winning. And this week, if you haven't tried it, you must. I'm releasing my 4-team NFL Lock Parlay, and you can only get it by calling 900-903-0933. I'm also releasing 10 college winners. Get these games, tease them, parlay them, doyle them, but whatever you do, call now. 1-900-903-0933.
It's new and exciting. The most valuable information found on the Strip. Football Forecast Weekly's Consensus Hotline. You'll get the wise guy moves, consensus hotel contest picks, and winning selections from actual casino bookies. Direct from the sports wagering capital of the world, Las Vegas. The Consensus Hotline gives you the top selections from the nation's top experts. Win like the pros do, call 900-370-VEGAS, only $10. That's 900-370-8342, your winning ticket to the football season. Hi, I'm Bob Della Rocca, host of the Football Forecast Weekly Consensus Hotline. And after dealing with the most prominent high rollers here in Las Vegas since the beginning of the season, the time has come for me to release my NFL Game of the Year. Give the hotline a call right now at 1-900-370-VEGAS, and my biggest point spread winner of the year is yours. No gimmicks, no sales pitch, just the single strongest NFL game I've seen all year. Call the hotline right now, 1-900-370-8342, and let the Consensus Hotline make you a winner.
Hello, football fans. You watch me each week win my selections right here on Football Forecast Weekly, and thousands of you call my 900 number to continue the winning. And this week, if you haven't tried it, you must. I'm releasing my 4-team NFL Lock Parlay, and you can only get it by calling 900-903-0933. I'm also releasing 10 college winners. Get these games, tease them, parlay them, doyle them, but whatever you do, call now. 1-900-903-0933.
Welcome back to the show right now. For all you out-of-town viewers, the bowl lines for all the college bowl games are up in Las Vegas. You can call any of your numbers and get the latest news. Now we're going to talk about college bowl games. Last week, Dennis, me and you spoke about the Orange Bowl in Florida State, Nebraska, how the line opened up at 14, went to 16.5. You said to all the big bettors, stay put because it's going to keep on going up. What happened?
Well, it certainly is going up. It's up to 17.5 at the current time, and it's going to go even higher before the last week when we can jump all over Nebraska and make a big kill on this game. In the local newspapers here in Las Vegas this week, one of the amateur handicappers in town was quoted as saying the only way you'll win on Nebraska is if the ticket writer writes the wrong ticket. Well, I've got news for the dummy. He probably doesn't play enough money to worry about it, but all the big players in town are waiting and waiting for this game to keep going up. And believe me, it'll keep going up. The joke around town is all the college football coaches are glad to be done with their season so they can come to town to bet on Florida State. Well, come on down, boys. We want all you dummies to come to town and run that number up to 20 or 21.5 or something before game time, and then all the experts in town are going to load up on the Cornhuskers. The Cornhuskers will keep this game close, Bob. They'll have a ground rushing attack that can move the ball against Florida State, and I would definitely think that they would have a little bit of incentive with the bad press they've been getting nationally for the last 3-4 weeks. So I think Nebraska's going to play this one close, but let's wait till right before game time before we jump on the Cornhuskers. We'll get extreme value in the number that way.
If Charlie Ward wins the Heisman on Saturday, that certainly won't hurt either. It'll keep on going up.
No, I think it'll keep going up the more publicity Florida State gets, and Ward definitely will win the Heisman this week. And also, I think Florida State's in a good position to be a little bit overconfident. All they've heard all year is how great they are, so I think they go into this matchup thinking they've won the game before the game's played. That's a big advantage for Nebraska.
When the numbers came out yesterday, I spoke to you on the phone, and the game that surprised me the most was the Rose Bowl. I didn't understand UCLA coming out as a touchdown favorite. over Wisconsin.
Well, I think that number is a pretty solid number, actually. I think UCLA has far more speed offensively and defensively, and Wisconsin's weakness is definitely in trying to control the pass, and what's UCLA's strength? UCLA can pass the ball with the best of them this year. They've had a great season, and I think they'll be able to pass Wisconsin silly. Also, Wisconsin probably will have a little bit of glitz and glimmer in their eye. They haven't been to Los Angeles for 40, 50 years, so I think it will be a new scenario for them. They'll probably get caught up in all the hype, and I think UCLA has a big, big advantage here. Also, a lot of the action that comes to Las Vegas comes from California people,
right,
and they're sure to back their home team here.
So you're going to give Cook that 7-point advantage over Bevel?
Well, I think so. I think Wisconsin leaves a lot to be desired. The Big Ten's an awful weak conference, and I think UCLA holds all the aces in this matchup.
I know a couple of weeks down the road you're going to have a lot of solid information on your 900 line concerning the Bulls, but this week you've got a very big play going in the NFL.
Well, that's for sure, Bob. I'm releasing my lock NFL parlay of the year this weekend. A big four-teamer that's going to get the money for you. All you have to do is call 1-900-903-0933 to win big on these four big selections. Also, I'm going to break everyone into my tremendous basketball selections. I'll be releasing 10 college hoop winners for Saturday's games on the hotline, and you can get all those games for only one call. $20 and you'll be a big winner this weekend. 1-900-903-0933. I also want to mention, along with the pro football and pro and college basketball, I'm also going to be updating the bowl lines and the bowl situation each week, so you'll want to stay tuned for that too. And this weekend, I understand, Bob, you're coming with some more tremendously exciting information. You've put together a game that's a lock, and you're going to be releasing it on your hotline. Tell everyone about it.
That's right, Dennis. This week on the Consensus Hotline, I'm releasing my own NFC Game of the Year. I'm not going to sit up here and rant and rave what I'm going to do for you. You got Indianapolis as an outright winner last week. I gave out the Bengals. People thought I was crazy. I came back with the Eagles. They thought I was nuts. This week, I'm going to give you a solid point spread winner. It's my NFC Game of the Year. 1-900-370-VEGAS. That's 1-900-370-8342. I'm also going to have NBA basketball on the line, college basketball, so give it a call, 1-900-370-8342.
Well, Bob, I know you want to chase me out of here because we have a very special guest coming up next. Before I go, I want to remind everyone, be sure you call Bob's line for his NFC Game of the Year and call my line for my parlay of the year. Put all these selections together and you'll be a big winner this weekend. Okay, I'm out of here.
Get lost. I'll see you next week. Joining me now is a very special guest here on Football Forecast Weekly. His success over the last 5 years in Las Vegas is unparalleled. He's an ex-college basketball mentor. It's the coach, Irv Leifer. Coach, welcome to the show.
Bob, it's great to be here with you.
I know you've got some very special information coming up later on in this segment on your 900 line, but first, you've got a couple of best bets you'd like to release to the audience. Your first game is the over-under on the Cowboys and the Vikings.
Well, you know something, Minnesota's only scored over 20 points twice all year, and of course Dallas having bad problems offensively too. In the last 3 games, only 20 once, 14 twice. This game goes under the 37.
Okay,
your next defense to stand out here.
Excuse me. Your next game's an NFC battle between the Lions and the Cardinals. The odds makers here in Las Vegas have made Phoenix a 6.5-point favorite.
Detroit, another team having bad problems on the offensive side of the football. Only 23 points in the last 3 games. Phoenix, the players would like to save Joe Bugel's job. Look for them to play hard here. He's not going to get to the 9 wins, but if he can win a couple games late, he has a chance to keep his job.
He has done a good job. We mentioned earlier, 900 line has been doing very well. You've got a big game going this week. Tell all the viewers about it.
Well, Bob and viewers, I've got my NFL Game of the Year this week, and I'll tell you something. When I give you an NFL Game of the Year, you better call me. I not only have that, but I have 2 more NFL selections and 3 hoop selections. That's 6-0. Right, call me now, 1-900-860-9595. It's only a $15 charge. My NFL Game of the Year and 5 more big winners, 1-900-860-9595. Again, that's a $15 charge.
Thanks, Coach. Hope to see you again. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hello, football fans. You watch me each week win my selections right here on Football Forecast Weekly, and thousands of you call my 900 number to continue the winning. And this week, if you haven't tried it, you must. I'm releasing my 4-team NFL lock parlay, and you can only get it by calling 900-903-0933. I'm also releasing 10 college winners. Get these games, tease them, parlay them, doyle them, but whatever you do, call now. 1-900-903-0933.
Hi, I'm ex-coach Irv Leifer here in Las Vegas. Give me a call at 1-900-860-9595. It's only a $15 charge. I've got my NFL Game of the Year this week, as well as 5 more big selections for you. 3 in the hoops and 3 NFL selections. That's 6 big winners, including my NFL Game of the Year. Give me a call at 1-900-860-9595. It's only $15. You know, preparation plus effort equals success, and that's what I do for you weekly. Give me a call now. My NFL Game of the Year, 1-900-860-9595, $15.
Hi, I'm Bob Delarocca, host of the Football Forecast Weekly Consensus Hotline. And after dealing with the most prominent high rollers here in Las Vegas since the beginning of the season, the time has come for me to release my NFL Game of the Year. Give the hotline a call right now at 1-900-370-VEGAS, and my biggest point spread winner of the year is yours. No gimmicks, no sales pitch, just the single strongest NFL game I've seen all year. Call the hotline right now, 1-900-370-8342, and let the Consensus Hotline make you a winner.
Hi, I'm Mike Fox, owner of Double R Sports. If you call me right now at 1-800-362-5777, you will receive my NFL Underdog Player of the Year absolutely free. Not only must this game cover the point spread, but it must win the game outright or the rest of the season is yours absolutely free. So call me at 1-800-362-5777 for my free NFL Underdog Game of the Year. That's 1-800-362-5777.
Welcome back to the program, and joining me once again this week is the Midwest Scout for Double R Sports, Steve Plotkin. Steve, welcome back to the show.
It's going to be old hat, isn't it?
It certainly is. Steve, Mike Fox back in New York has been on fire with his live phone service as he's hit 2 straight NFL Underdog Games of the Year.
There is no hotter handicapper in the country right now than Mike Fox. 2 weeks ago, he gave you the Eagles, an outright winner over the Skins. Last week, he gives you the Colts plus 11 over the Jets, another outright winner. Nobody's hotter in the NFL than Mike Fox.
That was certainly a great call on the Colts. How about we get right to this week's games?
Let's go.
Your first game this week is an NFL over and under between the 7-5 Packers and the 6-6 Chargers. The lines makers have set the total on this game at 36, and I know that all 6 of the Chargers' home games this year have gone under, but you see otherwise.
Well, 2 weeks ago up in Milwaukee, Holmgren ran a conservative offense. The Packers beat the Buccaneers 13-10. Now they go to Chicago. Holmgren says, hey, let's open up the offense. What happens? 462 yards of offense. Brett Favre has his best game as a Packer quarterback, 402 yards passing, 36 completions. That's the good news. On the bad news is he threw 2 touchdowns to the Bears, had a pass that went backwards. He lost that. Another touchdown for the Bears. He gives up 21 points. The Packers lose 30-17. Now they're going into San Diego. San Diego is the best team against the rush in the NFL. However, when it comes to passing, they're the worst. So what's going to happen? The Packers are going to have to open up their offense. And when they open up their offense, what happens? Nothing but turnovers. This game's going to be filled with turnovers. Humphrey's going to be scoring a lot of points. The Packers are going to put points up on the boards. This game going way over the total.
We're going to buck history at the Murph.
We're going to buck it.
Okay, your next game is also an NFL total between the 7-5 Lions and the 4-8 Cardinals. The total has been set at 35. Which way is this game going?
Well, these two teams met earlier in the year. It was a 26-20 win by Phoenix, but these two teams going in opposite directions. Last week, Fonz decides to change the offense. He fires Henning. He's going to bench Pete for Ware. And Ware's already had 1 game on the road this year. What happened? A 27-10 loss at Tampa Bay. Now they're going down to Phoenix. Phoenix plays good defense. With no offense in Detroit and a good offense at Phoenix, plus good defense, this game's going to go definitely under the total.
They certainly miss Barry Sanders.
Well, they certainly do. They miss everything. They've got no offense.
We mentioned at the top of the segment, the live phone service back in New York has been doing phenomenal, and you guys are doing it again for week number 3.
That's right. If you dialed 1-800-362-5777 2 weeks ago, you received Mike Fox's NFL Underdog Game of the Year winner free on the Philadelphia Eagles. They won the game outright. Last week, he gave you the Colts plus 11 at the Jets, another outright winner. If you dial 1-800-362-5777, this week, Mike Fox is going to make it 3 wins in a row. There is no handicapper hotter in the country right now in the NFL than Mike Fox. Only Mike Fox can give you an NFL winner so strong, he's not even going to need the points. The number, 1-800-362-5777. And this game guaranteed to win or the rest of the season free through the Super Bowl. 1-800-362-5777. Mike Fox's NFL Underdog Game of the Year, absolutely free.
Okay, Steve, make sure you write that number down. Now, you've obviously been doing your homework in the totals because your next game is another NFC total between the 7-5 Bears and the 3-9 Buccaneers. The lines makers have set the total at 34. Once again, which way is this one going?
Well, once again, you got another repeat game. The last 2 times these teams met, Chicago won 47-17. That game played up in Chicago. Now they're going down to Tampa Bay. Chicago absolutely has no offense. Last week they had 206 yards total offense. Green Bay absolutely dominated the game. Now they're going down to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is going to run a conservative game plan. Look for these two teams to play a tight game. This game definitely going under with no offenses.
We're not going to see 21 points from the Bears defense again.
I don't think so. You're not going to find a gift like they had last week.
Okay, you mentioned it once. For the 3rd straight week, Mike Fox is releasing his NFL Underdog Game of the Year.
There is nobody hotter in the country in the NFL than Mike Fox. He's had 2 underdog outright winners 2 weeks in a row. He's going to do it a 3rd week. You have to dial 1-800-362-5777 to receive this free winner. The game is free. The call is free. Dial 1-800-362-5777 for this easy winner. 1-800-362-5777.
Okay, Steve, now, I want to remind all you viewers they haven't lost their mind. They're just doing their homework and they're doing a solid job. So make sure you write their number down and give them a call. Steve, thanks for being on the show. We'll see you again next week.
Great to be back again.
Okay. We've got more information coming up with Fred Schaller from Special Play Sports right here in Las Vegas. He's got some big news. You're not going to want to miss it, so stay tuned for Fred Schaller. We'll be back right after this. Hi, I'm Bob Della Rocca, host of the Football Forecast Weekly Consensus Hotline. And after dealing with the most prominent high rollers here in Las Vegas since the beginning of the season, the time has come for me to release my NFL Game of the Year. Give the hotline a call right now at 1-900-370-VEGAS, and my biggest point spread winner of the year is yours. No gimmicks, no sales pitch, just the single strongest NFL game I've seen all year. Call the hotline right now, 1-900-370-8342, and let the Consensus Hotline make you a winner.
Hi, I'm Mike Fox, owner of Double R Sports. If you call me right now at 1-800-362-5777, you will receive my NFL Underdog Player of the Year absolutely free. Not only must this game cover the point spread, but it must win the game outright or the rest of the season is yours absolutely free. So call me at 1-800-362-5777 for my free NFL Underdog Game of the Year. That's 1-800-362-5777.
For the last 15 years, Special Plays in Las Vegas has been a proven success. Now their top-rated winners are yours absolutely free. One phone call to 1-800-748-5295, and our next special play is yours absolutely free. Let Las Vegas's #1 handicapper make you a part of his winning team.
This week is my NFL Game of the Month. You can receive it absolutely free at 1-800-748-5295. Everybody will receive this game free at 1-800-748-5295.
Hi, I'm ex-coach Irv Leifer here in Las Vegas. Give me a call at 1-900-860-9595. It's only a $15 charge. I've got my NFL Game of the Year this week, as well as 5 more big selections for you. 3 in the hoops and 3 NFL selections. That's 6 big winners, including my NFL Game of the Year. Give me a call at 1-900-860-9595. It's only $15. You know, preparation plus effort equals success, and that's what I do for you weekly. Give me a call now. My NFL Game of the Year, 1-900-860-9595, $15.
We are back with one of Las Vegas's own from Special Play Sports right here in town, Fred Schaller. Fred, welcome back to the show.
Great to be back, Bob.
Fred, once again, like clockwork, 2-1 on the show last week. You've got to be hitting close to 75%. Your live phone service is doing a job. How about we get right to this week's games?
Throw me a game.
Okay. Like Steve earlier in the segment, you're going to focus, your first game is going to focus on an NFL total between the 7-5 Jets and the 3-9 Redskins. The total on the game is 35. Which way do you see it?
Well, Bob, the Jets come into this game at 7-5 and took a blow last week against the Indianapolis Colts. As the Jets' offense looked terrible last week, they were dropping passes on the sides all game long, and they wound up losing to the Colts 9-6. But their defense did play well. They held the Colts to 169 yards of total offense. The Jets' defense has only given up 1 touchdown in the last 3 games. On the other side of the ball, the Redskins come in a miserable 3-9. Last week, they beat Tampa Bay 23-17, but the score was very misleading, as 3 Tampa Bay turnovers turned into 14 Redskin points. The Redskins only had 65 yards of total passing. This team is totally out of sync, but they have played good defense at home. One of the few things they have done right this year. Look for this game to go under the total. The Jets' defense playing good. The Redskins' defense playing good. Play under the number.
The Jets have really been stymied by the weather the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I think that could play a big factor in this week in this week's game between them.
Okay, we'll look out for that. Your next game is certainly not the rivalry it used to be back in the 50s and early 60s between the Colts and the Giants. You're going to take a look at the total here. The lines makers have set it at 34. The Giants come in 9-3, a game ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. Colts are 4-8. I think I know which way this one's going.
Well, Bob, the Colts do come in at 4-8. They're disappointing. But they're coming for the second straight week. They're playing in the Meadowlands, coming off a big upset win over the Jets. The Colts have not scored a touchdown in their last 3 games, and now it doesn't get any easier. They have to play the Giants. The Giants come in with the league's best record at 9-3. The Giants looked outstanding last week as they became the first NFC team in history to beat the Dolphins at Joe Robbie Stadium. The Giants have played 6 home games. 5 have gone under the number. I look for them to make it 6 straight, go under the total in this game.
6 out of 7 in the Meadowlands under.
Absolutely. The Giants' defense playing outstanding.
Okay, we mentioned at the top, your late phone service is doing a fantastic job here in town. Tell everybody what you have going this week.
This week is my NFL Game of the Month. You can receive it absolutely free at 1-800-748-5295. Everybody will receive this game free at 1-800-748-5295. The call is free. The game is free. 1-800-748-5295. Bob, remember, Skinny Dugan's on West Charleston, home of the Jets and the Giants. We'll see you there Sunday.
Okay, Fred. Your next game is going to be an AFC Western Division matchup between the Seahawks and the Raiders. The lines makers here in town have made the Raiders an 8.5-point favorite. How do you see this game?
Well, Bob, the Seahawks come into this game at 5-7. Last week they were dominated by the Chiefs, 31-16, which now drops them to 1-5 against the spread against the AFC West. On the other side of the ball, the Raiders come into this game. They totally dominated Buffalo. They're 7-5. The Raiders have covered 7 straight against the Seahawks. I don't like the Raiders as a home favorite here, but there's no other way to go. The Seattle team is out of sync. Take the Raiders. They're on a roll. This is a pivotal game for them. The Seahawks are out of the playoff race. Take the Raiders. Lay the 8.
Is that Raider roller coaster ride going to be on the upswing this week?
I think so.
They get the job done.
Absolutely.
One more time, tell us about that 800 number.
This week is my NFL game of the month. You can receive it absolutely free at 1-800-748-5295. Everybody receives this game free at 1-800-748-5295. The call is free. The game is free. If the lines are busy, don't hang up. Call back. 1-800-748-5295.
I know that you've spent a lot of time this year. We've mentioned it quite often. You follow the Jets, and you have a very good feel for their team. What's gone on with their offense the last couple of weeks?
Boomer Sison's receivers, he's been on target all year long, and his receivers are costing them game. They must have dropped between 10 and 15 passes on them last week. They're just dropping passes. They're out of sync.
Is it the weather, or they're just playing poorly?
I can't really say whether it's the weather or not. He's on target. Their receivers, I don't really think he's got a good cast.
I know that they've got a tough schedule coming up the next 4 games. They're trailing Miami and Buffalo. This team can they make the playoffs?
Well, they're going to have to beat the Redskins, and then the true test is going to be the following week when they play the Cowboys.
It's a home game?
No, they're on the road against the Cowboys.
At Dallas, so they certainly got their work cut out for them.
Absolutely. This is a pivotal game this week.
Okay, Fred, we'll see you again next week. I want you to save me a bar stool at Dugan's.
Okay, Bob.
We're going to be back with more Football Forecast Weekly right after this, so stay tuned. We've got some information you're not going to want to miss.
For the last 15 years, Special Plays in Las Vegas has been a proven success. Now their top-rated winners are yours absolutely free. One phone call to 1-800-748-5295, and our next special play is yours absolutely free. Let Las Vegas's #1 handicapper make you a part of his winning team.
This week is my NFL game of the month, and you can receive it absolutely free at 1-800-748-5295. The call is free. The game is free. 1-800-748-5295.
Hi, I'm Bob Della Rocca, host of the Football Forecast Weekly Consensus Hotline. And after dealing with the most prominent high rollers here in Las Vegas since the beginning of the season, the time has come for me to release my NFL Game of the Year. Give the hotline a call right now at 1-900-370-VEGAS, and my biggest point spread winner of the year is yours. No gimmicks, no sales pitch, just the single strongest NFL game I've seen all year. Call the hotline right now, 1-900-370-8342, and let the Consensus Hotline make you a winner.